Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching in the world, welcome along to One Hub Racing. This is the Pinnacle Tier and round number 12, which takes us to Budapest and the Hungarian Grand Prix. My name is Kieran McGidley, and joining me in the commentary box as always now is Jamie Metcalf. Jamie, it's been a while. Have you missed me, and how have you been?
Yeah. Well, I've missed you, but I've had some good partners alongside me, so yeah, it has been good. And obviously now we're well into the second half of the season, so this is where the championship battles start to be formed. And yeah, it's been a good few races while it's been away, and I'm looking forward to this one tonight on a slightly different track.
Yeah, well, it's Monaco without the barriers. That's its more informal name. We've got Leon, who's on 183 points compared to Flavel on 137. That's a gap point of 46. That's almost 2 wins, Jamie. That's a big lead as we head to the halfway point of the season.
Yeah, it is, but we've got some new TVs racing tonight, so that's an opportunity for the guys behind to claw some gap. And obviously, with Ollie Flavel, he's not had the best of it recently, and he'll be looking to close that gap.
And we have one of our first interviewees of the night. It is Rob Forbes. Rob, how are you tonight?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, it's good to be speaking to some drivers again. I've missed it, I've got to be honest with you. I've missed the last 2 weeks. I've slapped myself on the wrist. I'm back here for Monaco without the barriers. Now, Jamie was telling me about last week, how you finished second in the race, but penalties knocked you back a bit. How much did that affect you, finishing the race there?
Well, I knew I was going to finish a bit back, but it was a good effort from me. I led a lot of the race, and I was just good to be up there again. It's a consistent race. So I think I can do that again, because I definitely had the fuel place. I've had a pole already as well.
And I'm just looking at the Drivers' Championship as well. Currently, Rob, you're 15th in the Drivers' standings, 13 points next to your name. We're at the halfway point in the season. Where do you hope to be finishing towards the end?
I'm not bothered about the championship, because I joined halfway through. I'm just going to try and get lots of wins and get a lot of success, and just have some good individual results. I'm taking it race by race.
And speaking of race by race, we've got the Hungarian Grand Prix coming up. How are your feelings towards it? What do you think?
I haven't got a setup right. I just don't feel good around here, but I shouldn't be too bad. But I won't be the greatest. I won't be the best of him, but I should be up there.
And one more question from me. When you're setting your car up, I know you probably don't want to tell the whole world, but what are your plans? Is it high aero, low aero around this track?
Well, I do like 2 seconds slower with low aero, so high aero.
Well, that pretty much put me in my place, didn't it, Jamie? If you have any questions, Jamie, speak now.
Obviously, I've seen you this season, and you've qualified really well, and before last week the races, they didn't really go. You had a lot of incidents and a bit of bad luck. Do you think last week was a real turning point for you, that you managed to, I know you had a lot of penalties, but you managed to put a good consistent race together, and you're definitely in that podium hunt? Do you think
it's the motivation I needed, because before I've been bottling when I've been in the contention for the win, but now I've got a good race under my belt. I know I can do it again and challenge for the win again.
Yeah, okay, I'll leave you to it, and good luck tonight.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for speaking to us, Rob. Good luck in tonight's race. And I believe we have Clone in the party now. Hello, Clone, how are you?
I'm alright. How are you guys?
Yeah, not too bad. So, it's pretty similar questions to last time out. Just give us a quick recap. How do you think you did last time out?
Spun like 5 times and got a puncher. So
Yeah,
last week wasn't a good race. For some reason, when the new lobby was started, there was no grip on my tyres, and then on the final stint when I pitted, my softs glitched and said they had 50% tyre wear, and that's why I got a puncher, and I couldn't pit because there's only a few laps left, which was annoying. But no, I just didn't feel comfortable with Germany. I still don't feel comfortable here really, because it's basically like Germany with a setup, and it's not the grippier of tracks and not the best with tyre wear.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've been calling it Monaco without the barriers. I've said that about 20 times tonight already. But how do you feel coming into the Hungarian Grand Prix?
I'm not going to be in the top 10 and score any points, I don't think. I think that point streak what I had ended in Germany. So I'm not really feeling confident today, so let's just pray I don't get it into the wall or anything like that, because those hard tyres are not grippy at all, they're easy to spin. So we'll have to wait and see.
So just looking at the championship tables right now, you're 9th place, 32 points next to your name. Next car ahead would be Albrecht, 7 points ahead of you. How do you think you've done so far this season?
I'm very surprised. I'm probably one of the slowest drivers in this lobby. TNR's Zexa is miles faster than me, and a lot of people are actually faster than me in this tier, so it's quite surprising where I am. I think I've been a bit lucky time to time, avoid crashes, but sometimes it's just been there at the right time basically as well. But I think I could still scratch a few more points now and then, but we'll have to wait and see. There's still a lot of races left to go. I'm not going to be fighting for the championship, of course, because I'm nowhere near the guy's pace at the top. We'll just have to wait and see how the other races go.
And now that we are at the halfway point in the season, obviously you've got an idea of how everybody's going to be, what pace-wise, who your rivals are, who maybe are the people you can't catch, who are the people you can. What's your target now for the end of the season? Where do you hope to finish in the championship?
Anything higher than 15th would be a good challenge for me to do. It's going to be a challenge, of course, because there's a lot of quick people, as I've said. And the person I'm definitely not going to have any challenges with is TNR Zexa. He's a bit too quick for my liking. If he was on no ABS, then we may be having a decent fight, but no, he's a bit quicker than me with that. The only person I may have a battle with is Caden if he makes a few errors, or maybe Westy if he makes some errors as well. But honest, compared to all these people in this grid, I'm probably the slowest, so I really don't know.
And Jamie, I'll hand over the microphone to you.
I think you asked most of my questions, to be honest with you, so I wish you the best of luck and hopefully you have a better race than last week. Oh no, I was going to talk about last week. Obviously, I raced that last week where it just didn't go for you. How do you bounce back? Do you just look to maybe just... Did you just settle for points today, would you? Or do you think you were pushing a bit more?
Well, just take race by race. One race is disappointment, you just forget about it, so you can improve. And this week it's going to be a challenge, of course, and anything can happen. There could be a huge pile up in turn 1, so which I do hope for, so I can get some points. But obviously you have to just wait and see how the race is, how the weather is, and how the grips are on the tyres. And you never know, I still may salvage 1 point to the championship standings.
Alright, well, I'll leave you to it and good luck tonight.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
And so that brings an end to our, well, it's not a lobby walk anymore, it's more of a race build-up now, Jamie, where we had it before, where we got drivers in, asked them literally 3 questions and sent them on their way again. Now they actually get to, warm the seat a little bit for the amount of time they stay here. So that's always nice to have that extended chat with the driver. But we've got 2 drivers there. Both have lower expectations for this race. I mean, going into a race pessimistically, how does that affect you throughout the entire night? Surely that's got to be a drain on you at some point.
Yeah, you just need to get, you're in the lobby, you just need to get rid of any negative attitude you have. You just need to focus positively. I just think after a race like that, where he was spinning top, I think you'll need to maybe a good result tonight might help. I don't know.
Yeah, you must be barking mad to be going into this with a downbeat. Anyway, that was a terrible pun that maybe not a lot of you heard. Anyway, Monaco without the barriers. We've got 14 turns here around the city of Budapest, and I believe we have 2 DRS zones. One along that long straight down towards turn 1, then of course towards turn 2. But there's only one detection point. That's just before the turning point for turn 14. So if you get ahead down towards turn 1, you get a little bit of extra DRS on your way down to turn 2 in order to try and pull away from the car in front. And in terms of overtaking opportunities, well, they're very limited here at the Hungary ring. You've got turn 1, obviously, with that long run down towards turn 2. Speaking of turn 2, you can go too wide through there, but we've seen in the past it is very risky, and it's so easy for the car on the inside to actually understeer without intention and hit you. So you've got to be very careful if you're going to plan a move there. Then, to me, the real overtaking opportunity, next one, would be down at turn 12. If you're going to go for a lunge, go for it there. We saw in real life Kimi Raikkonen go full opposite lock as he tried to control the car into the braking zone and still make the move stick. That would be an interesting one to see if drivers will make a move there. In the last couple of races, Jamie, we have seen cars stacked one behind each other for quite some period in this racing. Is that a compliment to how close these drivers are?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think, you know, obviously these drivers, they are very close. It probably is the closest tier in terms of pace from top to bottom. So yeah, it is good to see. And yeah, mind you, this I think this race is a bit more of a field spread, I think, because of the nature of the circuit. But yeah, I think we can still get a good close race. As, yeah.
And lots of support out here in the chat. Make sure you're watching along and make sure you're commenting as well. Lots and lots of support for Gavin in the chat tonight, so it's fair to say he's a very popular figure as he takes to the Renault car. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this Hungarian Grand Prix. Some people give it some stick about how there's not many overtaking opportunities. There are overtake opportunities. There's just about 3 of them around the circuit. Then again, there's only 14 corners. When you ratio that up, you know, it's not as bad as people make it out to be. But let's see what happens. Hopefully, we'll get underway in a few minutes' time.
It's like a go. It's also another analogy. I'm using one called barriers. This is like a go-kart way. It's like stop, start, stop, start. Not many high-speed corners there. Not the corners. They are slow speed. So I think around here, you need to have stability under braking. I think that's a huge critical factor, and that will help a lot for these guys.
Absolutely, and I've learned in the past the hard way about brake bias, brake pressure. I've tried my hand at league racing, Jamie. It's not for me.
Yeah,
it's why I'm up here.
yeah.
I take great solace in watching on from races. And the Hungaroring was never really my track. I didn't really do well at it. That's not to say it's not a great track. I love driving around it. I think you were saying to me, Jamie, before we start the stream, it's a great track to drive around. So hopefully most of the drivers will be thinking that. Unfortunately, the 2 drivers we did speak to, Jamie, weren't so confident heading into this race. So who knows? It's perfectly in the balance, I would say.
Yeah, hopefully they are. Hopefully they have good races, because they've been good additions to the tier, and they've really shown like competitiveness. So yeah, hopefully, as we're about to get under very shortly. So not long, guys.
And also, Cohen. I hope I pronounced your name right. Cohen? Kern?
Cohen or Cohen, I don't know. I think it's Cohen. I think it's like a Dutch sort of pronunciation.
He will correct me in the chat. I know he will. But his first race on the wheel. So that'll be pretty interesting. It's a pretty interesting track to start your race on a wheel. It'd be interesting to know what wheel you're racing on. I mean, I have a Logitech G29 in front of me. That's pretty good. And Jamie, I feel like it needs a wheel stand in way of an obvious plug. Where can I get one from? Man, this is a bad plug.
Well, next time I'm racing a car.
That was
nice cutting.
It was. But that was not a good plug. I've got to learn when to put some advertising in. That was not the time. Anyway, we're counting down towards the race now. I knew you all missed me. Don't lie to yourselves. But here we are then, counting down in towards round 12 of the Pinnacle Tier at the Hungarian Grand Prix, and there it is. That is the lovely exit of turn 14 and the pit lane here as well. And there is the entrance in towards turn 14, that long right hander where you've got to be so patient on the throttle. That there is the ascent towards turn 4. Of course, you've got turn 3 there on the left hand side. You can use a little bit of curb there, but use it as you dare, because if you get too much onto the curb, you can easily spin up the rear tyres, and that could be your race over. Also, watch out for the curb at turn 4. Too much of that, you can unsettle the car and go spinning around in towards the wall. The car will simply not take it. And be careful of the inside of turn 5. You dare put a wheel onto that curb, any one of those wheels, any amount of length on those curbs, and the car gets unsettled, it will spin around. So Lots of talking points, lots of places to be very, very careful around here, but it's one of the technical circuits, and it's a track where we're expecting quick lap times here, Jamie.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, obviously it's very short lap, one of the shortest laps on the calendar. So yeah, we do expect really quick lap times, and it's very quiet at the moment. It looks quite overcast though. It's dry weather, but no cars out yet, so I don't know. Bit of a hold-ups for, but yeah, I do expect to see a quick lap. And I do expect these tyres, guys, if it's a dry race, to qualify the medium tyre, because the soft tyre is not preferential race tyre.
Well, absolutely. Well, finally, teams are starting to emerge from the garage, and Renault's leaving, as are both the Ferraris. Any moment now, there they go, both together. That is Foxy Dude and Westy both leaving the pit lane together. I don't know who that was. It was Gavin. So Gavin in the Renault is the first person out onto track. I may have got that completely wrong because I have. It was actually Albrecht first out onto track then in the Alfa Romeo as he makes his way now down towards turn number 2. Again, a long sweeping left-hander. And Jamie, if there's any word that sums up this track for me, I think it would be patience. You've really got to be patient with the car and where you apply the throttle.
Yeah, this maybe a little set to the air because there's a lot of traction zone. If you get a bit lower in the throttle, you do spin up some tyres and the temperatures because that's straight. So yeah, patience would be key because the tyres overheat in the race. So that's on.
Well, hopefully you're a little less stop-start when we get underway, Jamie. Hopefully that'll that outlasts and hopefully will stick with you with your connection. But
because I'm hosting lobby, maybe, I don't know.
Albrecht getting a little bit of a tank slapper on the exit of turn 12 there as he makes his way through 13 and then onwards towards turn 14, the long right-hander here. And so we're riding on board with Albrecht. We might as well get a little bit of a hot lap with him. Very patient around turn 14 to get the full throttle and the full amount of apex you need down towards turn 1. Lots of undulation down the front straight, braking hard then in towards turn 1. Very patient on the throttle. There is your second bit of DRS as we head now down the hill towards turn 2. Again, pick out your braking point. It's just before that 50-metre board there. Nice and tight towards turn 2, through turn 3, nice and easy through here. Use a little bit of that curve on the outside. Here we go up towards turn 4. Be very careful about how much curve you use on the inside. There you can see the snap of oversteer through the car then, avoiding that inside curve of turn number 5. Very wise decision from the Alfa Romeo driver. Heading now towards the chicane of turn 6 and 7, guiding the car through there. Again, lines are important around here as we head through turns 8 and 9. Very patient with the car. The grip will come. You've just got to see it out as we head now through turn 11, flying through there, down a gear, then up it again to try and get the car turned in. Heading now down towards turn 12, almost a 90-degree corner here, using that curve on the exit as well, using the curve on entry as we head now down towards turn 13. Can be a little bit risky. You can actually unsettle the car on entry. Nice and smooth through 13, then coming towards turn 14. Don't try and turn in too early, otherwise you'll hit the wall on the pit lane entrance. And then towards the start-finish line, where we see the Alfa Romeo get a 118.4, but then Gavin there, 117.7 in the Renault on a set of the hard tyres. There was a Red Bull behind them that crossed the line. I believe that was James Slater. It was, but he didn't set a lap time as his lap time was validated. Yeah. What's he do then? 117.2 is the new fastest lap.
Yeah, whilst you were aboard that lap, we had a ski van sat in a flying lap, and he hit the wall, coming out and parade, so got wind damage and his lap's done, and also I believe clone with a similar location, so we had these two guys to point back to the pits. But yeah, a good lap from Foxy Dude. He's, like I say, in the past 2 races he hasn't been here, he's competed for the race win, so he's a guy I'm looking out for, and I think him and Westy, they could be contenders for the Constructors' Championship as a target at Williams' team, and Williams are a little bit vulnerable now.
Well, that is PB Racing there, P7 at the moment with a 119.0, as we have lap times coming in thick and fast. Jarno there in 5th place, 117.7. as we see Foxtube still topping the table. Z3 actually up into second place. We've got Slater still on a lap time here. Flavel has damage as well to that front wing as Clone comes into the pit lane as Forbes is out there coming through turn 13. We've got Unknown, who I believe has just set a lap time. No, I got that completely wrong because it was actually Slater that set a lap time and goes up to P7. We've got drivers out on outlaps at the moment. We've got SJ Racing, so we've got PB Racing, we've got SJ Racing. So let's see. I'll get the abbreviations, the initials mixed up at some point. I know I will. But where is Westy? P16 gets a lap time in this session, heading now towards turn 6 and 7. And I believe as we now head in towards this twisty section, that was Clone, who's just come over the chat here. Currently back into the pit lanes. His DRS was stuck open, Jamie. So that's not. This isn't the place you want your DRS stuck open when you need all the aero you possibly can, especially through the second sector.
Well, that makes sense because I saw him coming out turn 1, and also that turn 1's a very. If you have DRS in the middle of turn 1, you are going to spin into the lack of your downforce. So that does explain that incident to me. So yeah. Not really going to see this game, and 2 weeks in a row a driver has been affected by broken DRS, but thankfully, hopefully that'll be it done. It's early qualifying, hopefully get out there and set a lap time.
Yeah, absolutely. When you come back to the pits, the team normally does a really good job of getting the car back up and running. Here is Forbes then making his way around the final corner here. Again, patience through that final corner as we make our way towards the start-finish line. And Mercedes there goes up to P6. So that's the third row of the grid for Forbes then, as he makes his way now down towards turn 1. We've got Steven on an outlap, as is Clone. We've got Westy, I believe, invalidated his lap there, as he's currently making his way through towards the chicane now. So he was on the soft tyres there. You can see Unknown get out of the way, as does Steven, as does Janor. They're all just getting out of the way here. And of course, with Monaco being such a narrow track, it's not very easy to get out of somebody's way, especially if we're on a flying lap.
Monaco is a narrow track indeed, but we're Hungary this week, so yeah, I do think, he's very narrow. That middle sector, he's quite hard to get out of the way. So them guys did a good job there. Obviously, a bit later it would have been impossible to get out of the way. So yeah, that's something to look out for later on, as most of these guys at the end to be like a mad traffic jam. It's also a night track. It's also a short track as well. West is about to finish a lap. Let's see what he does. He does a 1:18. That's not a proper lap time.
But at this moment in time, I think he had invalidated his lap time. He didn't deploy any ERS on that lap either, so no. I'm not surprised that it's at 1:18.5 there, as we see some of the cars here doing longer stints, almost like a race simulation stint in qualifying. We've got Legend there, who's up in second place, a 1:17.6, as he now dives out of the way of the Ferrari of Westy, that is, who's, I'm assuming, making his way back towards the pit, and again pulling right over to the right hand side there, as we see a McLaren run very wide on the exit of turn 3, and that is Skeven, who's trying to push the car as much as possible, heading now through in towards turn 5, chucking the car in and hoping that it sticks then up towards the chicane we go, in towards 6 and 7. Very aggressive on the curves here. He's obviously got a really good setup here to attack these curves. Clone has retired from the session. I wonder if that's going to be anything to do with that DRS, whether the team was able to fix it or not.
I wonder if he's kept out, just tested it and realised it hasn't worked, so maybe he's just thought, well, no point me qualifying if I can't get a good lap in. So yeah, maybe he's just out of the back grid, and around here, out the back grid is not ideal because overtaking is quite difficult.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of understatement. It's challenging for sure, as this is Skeven then making his way on towards the start-finish line to set a lap time, and he goes P3, 1:17.6 from the McLaren driver onto the second row of the grid. Knocks Z3 down to P4 at the moment, and that is Clone in the chat there. He said he pitted, DRS didn't get fixed, and he lost control, so that is him out of the way. So that to me then says that he lost it somewhere out on track and actually crashed. That would make sense then. It's almost like I seem to remember one Formula 1 team, someone in the chat will know who it was, but just had the DRS stuck open. I believe it was Fernando Alonso, had his DRS stuck open. He had to pit in and basically force it shut. The team had to force the DRS shut. And then as soon as he activated it again, it stayed open. And,
I think
the whole process started all over again.
Also, I think Schumacher at Mercedes had a similar thing as well back in the day. So yeah, that was the early days of DSL. Online has joined, but obviously we started back as the grid of a default setup. But it's good to see here, so up to 18 drivers. So that is good to see.
Yeah, really good to see. Hopefully Clone can get that car fixed in time for the race then. P17 he'll be starting from. That's so unfortunate as well, because having not set any lap time, and sometimes it's luck of the draw as Jonas really running wide onto the pit lane entrance. Of course, that's not rubbing in, Jonas. You've got to take it a little bit easier into the pit lane, locking up all 4 tyres. Well, I suppose he doesn't have to use these hard tyres ever again, or at least he hopes not, as he makes his way now down the pit lane entrance. Interestingly, all the lap times we've seen so far, Jamie, have been on the hard tyres, apart from 2 drivers. Was that all just missed? Yeah. Apart from 2 drivers, which is Nebster in the Haas, currently P9, and Westy P12 on a set of the soft tyres, although I'm assuming, given the lap times around them...
Yeah. West's out on hard tyres now, so that will change, and Nebster's in the league, obviously fancy something different in it, and imagine Nebster is committing to... Well, he hits the wall there. He's committing to set soft tyres with that strategy. So yeah, see a new driver, got a brand new lap. Haas yet again got a new line of it. He's had a new lap every week. So yeah, them guys.
Well, Z3 currently out there making his way down towards turn 2. Currently P5 at the moment, as you say, Pavel up to P2, 117.3. The man from Jersey then up into the front row of the grid. Kern has also retired from the session. He did set a lap time in the Williams there, however, he's now out of the qualifying. So yeah, it's not a competitive lap time, as you say, Jamie. So we'll have to see what he's made on in the race. Of course, as you say, remember there will be 18 drivers who will start this race, as Ron Line has joined into the session, so he will be starting from the back of the grid. But with 6 minutes to go, it is Foxy Dude on provisional pole. The man from Jersey you're watching here, Ollie Flavel, is in 2nd place. Legend in 3rd with Skeven 4th. Z3 5th. Gavin in 6th. Janul in 7th. SJ in 8th. Forbes in 9th, and Nebster rounds out the top 10. And as I say that, Forbes, who's not very confident around this circuit, don't you know, has beaten Foxy Dude's lap time by 1,000th of a second.
Whoa.
And takes provisional pole position. Talk about no confidence around the track.
Yeah. West's having a really good lap here. He's 2nd up, so he might jump in the top 4 if he just nails his final sector in the Ferrari. Obviously the Ferrari guys have been going over recently. West is on back-to-back podiums, so he's got some confidence after his disaster in Austria and France. Let's see what he does. He has a final corner. When you get the foot here, it's quite the foot tie. He does it nicely though, with the cross line, and he goes up 2-4. Only 10th off pole.
Yeah, and that's on the hard tyres as well, so he'll be able to start on those tyres if anything else goes wrong, as long as he finishes in the top 10. And Jarno there, I've realised I've been saying his name wrong. I asked him about 2 or 3 weeks ago when I last did commentary, how do you pronounce your name? I want to get it right. Jarno is his name, so I've been pronouncing it wrong.
Jarno as well. Yeah,
Jarno. So there you go. That's how you pronounce his name. So we've all learned something new today. Or at least myself and Jake have anyway. But currently then, we've only got a couple of cars out on track. We've got Westy, who's currently, I believe, on an in-lap. Legend on an out-lap. SJ on an out-lap. PB is out there on track. He's currently on a lap right now. Attempt up through Sector 1 as he makes his way now on towards Turn 4. I believe, though, let's have a look at the fitting tyres. Yes, these are tyres he's done an extended stint on. I don't think, this isn't a hot lap, I don't think. He's on
he's on no. He's found some time Sector 1 though, so that might help him later on. He found something in the first 2 corners, so that might be a good hint there, but he's coming to the pits because he's got very little battery left and he wants to get them mediums, so yeah, his lap's gone there now. I think the tyres have enough. His Nebster's coming out on the soft tyres, so that's his plan. Qualifying, and the rest of the guys committing to mediums.
SJ making his way through the chicane, a little bit squirrely on the exit of Turn 7 there, as you now head our way through Turn 9, riding on board now with the Racing Point heading through the left-hander of 10, the right-hander of 11. Look how much curve the Racing Point is using here. It can be very aggressive with the curves if you set the car up right. Through turn 12, we're going nice and smooth through there. Now heading in towards turn 13. Very easy to lock up, as we just saw there, because just at the braking point, the track goes down. The track gets very bumpy and goes downwards towards the braking zone, so very tricky to get that right without locking the brakes. But here is SJ making his way towards the line. P5 for the Racing Point, gets himself onto the third row of the grid with just under 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, nice lap there for the Racing Point driver. I'll give him some good confidence in his first race tonight.
Absolutely well. Just over 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go. It is Forbes on provisional pole, Foxy Dude in second, and Flavel currently in third place. That is your top three so far. We've got, I'm assuming we were going to have an influx of drivers out to the grid any moment now, or at least onto the track, as Gavin's left the session. That won't be good for him at all. He'll have to join back within the next 2 minutes in order to qualify himself to be on the grid for the formation lap. I mean, it's plenty of time, so it shouldn't be too bad. However, there's all that pressure of pressing the right buttons at the right time to make sure that you do rejoin at that right time. Nebster here is on the soft tyres, making his way now in towards turn 5. Getting really, trying to get his line absolutely spot on through 6 and 7 now, as he makes his way towards turn 8. Chucking the car in there, lots of grip on these soft tyres as we head through 9, then in towards turn 10, through the right-hander then of turn 11, as the sun's actually starting to poke through now of the clouds, so we could see higher track temperatures towards the end of this qualifying session, maybe by a centigrade or 2. Here's Nebster then making his way now in towards turn 13, and then getting onto that curve there, very risky to do that. As we see now, Nebster making his way through 14. Gavin has managed to rejoin. Here is Nebster then making his way on towards the start-finish line, and that is provisional pole position, 1:16.6 from the Haas driver. But let's see how much that time stays intact. We've got cars leaving the pit lane right now.
Good lap.
You know what? Foxy Dude, and I believe that's the, I can't tell which car that is, that's Jarno. There, I think they've left it a little bit too late. We'll have to watch out for that one. Jarno placed in sector 3. Flavel then second place, 1:16.7. That is a great lap time. You did say there, Jamie, and I just talked straight over you. But that is a good lap from the man from Jersey. Skeven here is looking to wind up and start a lap here as we make our way around the final corner and on towards the start finish line. Skeven then in the McLaren. He's seen his teammate now, 9/10 of a second between them, but of course Skeven's last lap time was on the hard tyres. Let's see what he can do in these medium tyres. And I have to say, I think some of these drivers have left it too late here. Foxy Dude being one of them. I don't know. He's not going to. You know, he's not going to make it to the line, is he? He's still trying to warm his tyres up. He left the pit lane. He left the pit lane. Yeah, it's not going to be enough time. So you've got the Ferrari of Foxy Dude there. Yeah, it's not going to be enough. They've left it too late. The checker flag will come out now, and yeah, that's it for Foxy Dude then, as he makes his way around the final corner, and he will be gutted that he's missed out on that one, as will Janel there, who's also missed out as he makes his way towards the line. So I've mistimed that then.
Yep.
Absolutely mistimed it.
C3, the next guy across the line, he's 6/10 up at the moment, so he might jump into third place. Bjorn has to be the third, but I mean, this time will surpass that. Well, he goes on to pole position actually.
It does go into pole position. I've just been told that my the clock we're seeing, Jamie, isn't right. In fact, it's counting faster, so that's why we haven't seen checkered flag come out for Foxy Dude or Jarno. They're actually still on a lap time as Skeven now goes top of the table. Now the checkered flag is out. Skeven puts it onto provisional pole position. Nebster currently third. Flavel in fourth as he's taking the checkered flag as well. Albrecht flying now through turn 5. We've got Rob Forbes, who has had provisional pole position at during the start of the session. Now has a chance here to try and get that back. Meanwhile, Foxy Dude then, well, I thought at least that he ran out of time, that he timed it horribly, but apparently our clock is wrong as we make our way now in towards turn 13. Foxy Dude here looks like he's on a good lap time. Let's see if he can keep it together for the last corner then in towards turn 14 for car number 14 on towards the start finish line. Can he try and grab provisional pole position? Yes, he can. A 1:16.1 from the Ferrari driver. Forbes then gets up to 9th place. Jarno then, where does he go? It's 6th place for the Alfa Romeo driver as Z3 trying to make his way now back to the pit lane on an out lap. Let's see where Albrecht goes then on the Alfa Romeo, backs out of it. No, wasn't happy with that lap whatsoever. PB Racing running wide on the exit of 13, now trying to make his way through turn 14. He's actually got damage to the front wing.
Spun it in the chicane, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he spun it in the chicane, so his qualifying's over effectively, and that's qualifying done. As yeah, another good lap there from his quickest on the hards, his quickest on the soft. So yeah, good effort there from the Ferrari driver.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is Foxy Dude in the Ferrari who grabs pole position for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Skeven is in second place with Z3 on the second row, with Westy joining him on the third row. It's Nebster and Jarno in 5th and 6th. Slater and Flavel 7th and 8th, with Legend in 9th. Forbes is in 10th place. Unknown in 11th. Albrecht 12th. SJ 13th. Gavin 14th. PB Racing in 15th. Kern in 16th. Clone there, of course, with the DRS issues, didn't get to set a lap time. And of course we have one more driver in Ron Line joining on to the 18th spot on the grid. So 18 drivers will be starting this race, Jamie. And well, by the end of it, we're going to have one winner at the end of it. Who do you think is the best chance of winning today's race?
Well, Foxy did his robbed last week. I'm going to go for him this week. I think he's going to do it this week.
You think he's going to do it? Well, there you go. Bold claim from Jamie. Let's see if his prediction comes true. Well, hopefully, Jamie, our lap counter isn't a lap fast or 2 laps fast or anything like that. So let's hope. Let's hope. Kern actually crashed out in qualifying. That's what he's confirmed to us in the chat. Make sure as well, if you're a fan, make sure you tell us who you're supporting tonight. Who do you think will win here at the Hungarian Grand Prix? Let us know who the flags are flying for today. We've already seen a lot of support for Gavin. Let's see some support for other drivers as well. Let's see who the fans are as we make our way towards the 12th round. And of course, make sure you're reacting as well. We might not necessarily get a chance to see it. Depends how much action there is on the track, but make sure you do get involved in the race as well. Well, formation lap will be starting any moment now, and to me, Jamie, it looks like it's a lovely day out there. A little bit overcast, with sunshine poking through. That will hopefully have a good effect on the tyres, and hopefully the track is in good condition.
I'm getting a nice view of the pit garage at the moment, so hopefully that clears up as the warm-up begins.
Yeah, it's a lovely view. It's a lovely view of front wings, I have to say. That's
I think we might be a bit behind everybody else here, so
I think we are. Well, we were ahead in qualifying. It wouldn't surprise me at all if we were behind for the formation lap. I don't know if anybody's actually on their formation lap, because the way I'm just seeing the pit garage. That's all I'm
lobby
seeing.
Issues. I don't know.
Well,
I think we might have to. I think we might have to restart.
Well, I don't know, because I've only got one more wheel turning on the driver's side, and that's Z3. That's all I'm seeing. I don't know if you're seeing the same thing. Everyone else is a tick, but well, it happens, doesn't it? Hopefully you got a screenshot of the of qualifying, Jamie.
I'll just download the. I can't even back out there. I've got to close the game. I can't even back out this menu. So yeah. Oh well, this is gonna be fun.
Oh well, I know what's gonna happen, Jamie. You're gonna leave, and everything's gonna be hunky dory. Everything's gonna work. I know it. I can feel it.
We had a restart last week, so we'll keep.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happened. Oh, that's great. I love it. I love it. Well, I'm just seeing Foxy just jump the start basically. But yes, it will be a restart, as Jamie has said. Oh well, these things happen, and hopefully, Jamie, you've got a copy of the qualifying results. Remember, the top 10 do still have to start on the tyre they qualified on, albeit now the benefit for them will be that it will be a brand new set of tyres. So they can and will be checked, those tyres. So don't try and deceive the stewards. Don't try and deceive Jamie. He is head of drivers after all. he's in good ears with all of the team bosses. But there we go. Anyway. So we'll hopefully be able to rejoin in a bit, but make sure you are still supporting your favourite driver. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel as well. Make sure you follow the league on Twitter. It's at OneHub Racing. You can follow me there if you like as well, if you really want to. It's at KSMCGF1, and you can also follow Jamie, which, correct me if I'm wrong, Jamie, is at JamieMet92. So,
Indeed, it is.
Go follow all of those links if you really want to. But mainly the OneHub one. Go follow OneHub. I winked there, but you couldn't actually see it. I don't know why I did that. Why did I wink, Jamie?
I don't know either.
I think I'm on TV all of a sudden. Oh, well.
Yeah. Got to cut this lobby up now, since it's going to be fun.
Well, let's have a look. Yeah, obviously, a lot of support for Gavin tonight. So let's see if he can. Live up to the hype there that his fans are obviously wanting him. And well, next season, I believe, or the season after, anyone on F1 2020, of course, we'll have the Dutch Grand Prix, and I'm seeing quite a few Dutch drivers now rising up the ranks into OneHub now, and I think it's going to be a real chance for Dutch drivers to really take a stranglehold. I mean, there are plenty of quick Dutch drivers out there. I mean, Max Verstappen obviously one of them, and I think that's sort of sparked new drivers to come through and try it out, and actually they're really quick. I know Jamie is hard at work here trying to set up a new lobby, having to concentrate on what I say in case I call him up on anything, and also trying to set up everything and qualifying. Yeah, it's a lot to do for him, so we'll leave him to it for now, unless you want to say anything, Jamie.
Yeah, the Dutch Grand Prix, the track. Traditionally, that track's not been good at overtaking in like other little formulas. Hopefully, there are none excellent changes to it. Hopefully, they get it figured out.
Right, I'm going to have to cut you off, Jamie, because I'm going to have to accept your invite, which of course means that we don't we don't get to hear from you for a bit. Now we do. Now we're back. That's good. We're all good. Obviously, the Hungarian Grand Prix, a couple of miles away from the city of Budapest, and has had some great experiences. I believe it's one of these tracks here that's been on the calendar since 1986 and hasn't been away since, so it's always good to see. And it was one of the first races actually to go beyond the Iron Curtain, which is a big phrase for anybody who's studying history right now. Yeah, this was the first race behind the Iron Curtain, so that was a pretty interesting time. And
I'm gonna mute you for a second so I can do this grid. Sorry.
Well, that's harsh, isn't it? I mean, did you just hear that? That is so harsh. That is so harsh. Anyway, I completely understand. Not. Anyway, so let's go through some of the drivers whilst we're here. I mean, and go through some of the standings as well. We might as well whilst we're all here all together. Of course, we have the Mercedes pairings of Forbes and Z3. As we heard from Forbes earlier on, he rates Z3 as a quick driver. Rob says Z3 is quicker than him, so that's one of the main things. But looking at the point standings, you've got Forbes there, 15th place on 13 points, Z3 on 20 points. So it's not a lot in it between the two Mercedes drivers. Although I'm starting to think Mercedes were hoping for a little bit better in this season. But as Forbes said as well, he joined mid-season. I think Z3 did as well. So they'll both be just enjoying themselves in time for next season. Obviously, Scuderia Ferrari. In real life, they're struggling, but in OneHub Pinnacle Tier, well, they're third place at the moment, and well, they're only 3 points away from Racing Point, but it is a huge gap to Rocket Williams Racing at the moment. It is 77 points between Ferrari and the leaders of Williams, so it's going to be tough to catch them. But they have two good drivers as well. They've got Foxy, who has claimed pole position for the Hungarian Grand Prix. They also have Westy as well, who's a very consistent driver. So it's a strong pairing for those two. 171 points for the team. If we have a look at the driver standings, we have, just trying to find the first Ferrari driver, there's somewhere on this list, Westy in 4th place in the championship, 113 points. That's 70 points away from Leon, the championship leader. And then if I have a look at Foxy Dude, who I believe joined only a couple of races ago, he's currently 13th place with 15 points next to his name. So Pole position is a really good way to win over the fans, and you'll be hoping to keep that momentum going. Red Bull, Legend and Slater. Obviously a strong pairing between the two of them as well. You've got Legend there in third place in the championship, 136 points, 47 points away from championship leader Leon. On the other side of the garage, you have... I'm just trying to find Slater in the championship. So just looking up and down, seeing if his name pops out at me. Can't see it. Oh, it's fifth. There we go. 88 points. And of course, he has he's got 2 Driver of the Day votes actually this season. So he's performing well and looking to just try and keep that consistency going. For Renault then, we have Gavin and Unknown. Now remember, at the French Grand Prix, in front of the Renault home crowd, both Jamie and I were saying that the pressure was on Unknown to put in the performance, and boy did he put in the performance. He finished his best ever finish of the season at the French Grand Prix. That was the place to do it. Managed to hold on to his seat, currently 10th place in the championship with 29 points. And I'm assuming Jamie's unmuted me because we're about ready to go.
Yep, that's all sorted, so obviously that'll be top 10 laps that and the tyres qualify, not if they don't, they'll get a penalty. So, hello?
Well,
oh yeah, I didn't turn the mic on. Yeah, hello, yeah.
Yes, you're here, don't worry. I would have spoken over you if I couldn't hear you. But yes, Jamie's made that perfectly clear. Top 10 have to start on the tyres they qualified on, or penalties will be dished out. The only advantage now that the top 10 have is that it's a brand new set of tyres, Jamie. So how's that going to change strategy?
Oh, I forgot to change track. There we go.
That's why no one was readying up. There we go. There we go. All the readies up are flying in now. Look at that. We're off to a flying start. But as I was saying before, Jamie, you know, the top 10 now, in essence, will get to start on the tyre they qualified on, but a brand new set of them. So how's that going to change strategy?
Well, the guy starting on softs will...
I guess they're going to... There'll be an advantage, but it depends on how long the soft tyres last around here, I would assume. Counting down then in towards the Hungarian Grand Prix then, as hopefully we'll have 18 drivers with us, not long to go. And sometimes this can play on your mind as a driver when there's lobby issues. It's just longer to get the race started. You just want to complete that first lap, get it over and done with, and see where the race can go from there. But we've got 35 laps coming up then for the Hungarian Grand Prix, and hopefully you've outlasted the wait, you've weathered the storm, and hopefully we'll be here for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Now, Jamie, take us through what's going to happen. Are we necessarily going to see the same weather at the start of the last race?
Well, I don't think... Oh, not necessarily. Well, I'm a bit out the... Hopefully we do. But, yeah, because I'm hoping we do anyway.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we've got dry weather, so that's good.
Well, I'm glad you've loaded in before I have, so that's good. It's a good sign. I like it. Oh, okay. Everyone take a look at your watches. I'm still loading in. Don't worry, I'm alright.
Think we might...
I've got a black screen. This is good. It's a good start. Weathered the storm, people. We're almost there. Tension is rising. And hey, we're into the pit lane. This is a good sign. And pretty much similar weather to what we had before. A little bit overcast. Sun's poking through. Let's hope this time we get onto the grid for the formation lap. Everybody cross your fingers. This is the one. I can feel it. I know it. What about you, Jamie?
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Alright. Well, this is the time now for everyone to finalise their strategies. And, well, they'll be picking similar setups anyway, because there's no change in weather. It's not downpouring with rain, so pretty much everyone's going to be on the same setup that they were in qualifying. The real difference, the real thing that's going to be scrutinised is the tyres. They have to start the top 10 on the tyres they qualified on, regardless of the condition they were in, regardless of that, because they'll be on a brand new set of those tyres. So the good outweighs the bad, I think, for the drivers. Let's see how they go then as we head towards the grid. We're on the grid. Oh, yes. Here we go.
Yes.
On towards the formation lap then. Here for the Hungarian Grand Prix as Foxy Dudes lights up the rear tyres as we finally get underway for the formation lap here. Foxy Dude will be leading them down towards turn 1. Skeven will be on the front row as well in 2nd place. Z3 in 3rd. Westy 4th. Nebster in 5th with Yano in 6th. Slater 7th. Flavel in 8th. Legend in 9th. And Forbes rounds out the top 10. Then it's Unknown in 11th. Albrecht 12th. SJ 13th. Gavin in 14th. PB 15th. Kern in 16th. Clone in 17th. And Ron Line there in 18th. Just if you've forgotten that qualifying order. And Jamie, I think it's time for obvious advertisement time. Obviously, the One Hub is sponsored by Next Gen Racing. Next Level Racing, of course it is. Jamie, you're much better than this than I am. Just take it away.
As you know, as you guys probably already know, if you get to these streams, this league one have racing on celebration in our 4 tiers. This is the 3rd of the 4 tiers we have every night. All 4 of these drivers champions at the end of the season in Abu Dhabi in February. If you win that championship, you get a nice wheel stand delivered free of posters and packaging and everything. So yeah, that's a good prize. And if you fancy to buy one yourself, put in that code 110 at checkout, and you get a nice 10% discount.
Absolutely, and it gives you even more incentive to do well in these races. And Leon, unfortunately not here tonight, so this is a chance for his rivals to close in on the gap. Really, they have to. Flavel there in 8th place, Legend in 9th, and we've also got Slater then in 7th place. So this is the chance then for them to grab this race by the scruff of its neck and see how they go. So here we are then for One Hub Pinnacle Tier. We're here at the 12th round of the season in Budapest for the Hungarian Grand Prix. And as the cars then line up onto their grid spots, 18 cars will start this race. We're now moments away here at the Hungarian Grand Prix to get this 12th round underway. The last cars then getting onto the grid spots here in Budapest. Foxy Dude will be anxiously waiting for those red lights to start counting up, and it looks like here we're going to get a full start, if you like, as we await those red lights to go out. Then the actual lights will come on, which we can't see. So here we are in Budapest. 5 red lights. We're underway, and what are the starts like? Well, it looks like it's a little bit of a jumpy start there from Foxy Dude. Skeven looks like he's got a great start then as we head our way down towards turn 1, but look at Z3 then, making it 3 wide as we head in towards turn 1 for the very first time. Z3 trying to hold out in the sandwich there, and Z3 has pulled away. Great move from Z3, but it's not done yet then. Heading in towards turn 2, Z3 taking a wider line then. As we head through turn 2, we'll have the inside of turn 3, and the Mercedes driver from starting on the 2nd row of the grid has got up the order. We've got Gavin, I believe, is around in the background there, or is it Nebster? I got that completely wrong. Yeah, it was Nebster in the background. We've got a Toro Rosso running wide on turn 4 there. That was Clone, who's looking to try and make some progress. We've got Albrecht here going side by side then with PB Racing as we make our way in towards the chicane. Very crowded there. Oh, Albrecht is off. I think he was off anyway. He's got into the wall there, and he's underway again. Although Z3, great start from the Norwegian as he makes his way now down towards turn 12 in that Mercedes. He got a lightning start then and was very brave in the middle of that as Kern is now out of this race then. He's lost it at turn 11, so he's obviously got onto the curb, and that has been his day is done. SJ, and that is Clone then trying to hang it around the outside as we head in towards the final corner. Not quite done there, but look at PB. He's looking to try and make a move then as we head our way down this main straight for the 2nd time in this race then. You can hear the car bottoming out on the Harsted as he goes for the lunge then down the inside in towards turn 1. He's got the inside line. The Racing Point will have the outside line then as we head now down the hill towards turn 2. Both these drivers getting it very, very close there, but you can see the Renault in the background looking to try and take full advantage through turn 2 as we head through turn 3. A little bit of contact between PB and Gavin there. Gavin just looking and putting a nose up the inside there. But nothing doing for the Renault driver just yet. Meanwhile then, Legend is right onto the back of his teammate Slater here as we head in towards the chicane for the second time in this race. But C3 leads, Foxadude second, Skeeven in third, Wesley fourth, Janel in fifth, Forbes in sixth, Slater seventh, Legend in eighth, Flavel in ninth, Unknown 10th, Drone 11th, SJ 12th, PB in 13th, Gavin 14th, Frontline 15th, Nebster 16th, Olbrecht in 17th, and our only retirement so far is Kern, who's out of the race and classified as 18th place.
Yeah, I'd say the championship at the moment, the championship contenders aren't taking full advantage of Liam's absence. The top three are not in championship battle. Foxadude looks really close to the back of Z3 now. DRS, it won't be available down this straight, but I believe it will be available down the second straight, so this might be the lead going for the Mercedes driver and try and defend. He should be okay for the moment though, as Foxadude can get a good exit out turn one and gets very close to the rear end there. He's lagging a little bit, so that might put the Mercedes driver off, but he's doing well so far. No, DRS. Not getting DRS yet.
Yes, Skeeven made a mistake, had a turn one and has lost the position to Wesley there. So Wesley now moves up to third place. He'll have wanted that one. Look at Janel though, who's got a great run through turn three and up towards turn four. They're side by side here. Still side by side through there as Skeeven manages to hold on there. As Forbes, Forbes makes contact with the back of Janel there and he has to back out of that move. Meanwhile, those two Red Bulls, and that's Slater. Right up the inside, you can see him straight ahead there as Janel has to back out of the chicane. I wouldn't be surprised if he has to give that position back. And yes, he has to. Slater will then go through to take the position, but that just leaves Janel in a bit of no man's land here. But he manages to keep Forbes behind him as they're running very close together there. Hard racing out there as we head down towards turn 12.
Yeah, I think Forbes has basically misjudged it coming out of turn 4 there. He's going to go down inside. Yeah, it's not no typical takes, but he's spinning around again. So Rob Forbes, it's a bit messy and there's a bit of contact behind, so you know he's not having the best of opening moments. Yeah, I think Forbes has been a little bit over aggressive. I think he maybe should have backed out of it there. That was not on that move in my view.
Well, DRS is now online and Flavel will be trying to get past as many cars as possible. We see as well Legend there trying to move, and that is Flavel trying a switchback up towards turn one. A little bit of contact there. Meanwhile, Legend has got the move done on Forbes. He's now up to 6th place. Meanwhile, careful of Clone behind. He's looking to go straight up the inside at turn 2. He'll be on the outside for turn 3, and he has to give up on that one. No room for him there. Meanwhile, Flavel and Unknown going side by side now up the hill towards turn 4, and Flavel has to back out of that move then and try and put Unknown under pressure somewhere else. Lots of action happening here in the opening laps of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Meanwhile, Clone still trying to put that pressure on Forbes ahead of him. Speaking of pressure, Z3 is under extreme pressure from both Ferraris as we make our way now in towards that second sector through turn 11 and onwards towards turn 12. No DRS here though, and as I said before, that is an overtaking opportunity.
Westy maybe fancies, maybe get back to contention here. If he gets a good result, maybe he fancies it. And these Ferrari drivers, they're going to close the gap on Williams significantly. If Williams guaranteed no points tonight, this construction battle tipped over after Spain. Beyond now, as Foxadude he didn't get the best of exits though. C3 might be safe into turn 1, but turn 3, turn 2, turn 3, that's where a lot of takes happen. You can stick it down the outside of turn 2, which comes inside for 3. Let's see if Foxadude fancies that.
So if he does out of turn 1, it's all about getting the right exit down the hill, then towards turn 2. I don't think he's quite close enough to have a go, but he'll certainly try it. Running a little bit deep into turn 2 there. That allows Z3 some breathing space then as we head up the hill towards turn 4, and you can see there Foxadude knew he didn't get a great run through those first couple of corners because he went defensive as if Wesley was right behind him, so he knew there he was vulnerable. As Unknown gets a little bit too much curve there, that costs him his entry in towards the corner. SJ just about got away with it, but unfortunately for Unknown he didn't, and now Flavel will have seen that and is looking to try and find a way past. Of course, Flavel, as you say, needs to take full advantage of this race. With no Leon, he has to.
Yeah, Clone's out on the soft tyres, but he's made it work so far. He's up 9 places. How long can they last though? As Foxadude coming out of turn 3, 4, he got a bit on that curb but managed to save it, and now he's in the back of the Mercedes again. In the middle sector, the Ferrari seems a lot quicker, but it seems down the straights, the Mercedes has got advantage. Foxadude's got a great opportunity now, good exit on the end, he should be side by side with turn 1.
We we go then on towards that start finish straight. DRS wide open for Foxy Dude. He's right into the slipstream. Z3 goes to the right hand side to defend the lead as we head now into the braking zone of turn 1. Foxy Dude will have to go around the outside there and no way through. Z3 defends superbly then into turn 1 and he'll be able to hang on through turn 2, but Foxy Dude is not going to give up on that position here as we now head in towards turn 3. Foxy Dude then stays behind for another lap, but all that's doing is drawing Westy in. It's also drawing Skeeven in as well, who's now joining this battle for the lead of the race, and if they're not careful they'll actually attract the attention of both Red Bulls. Only 2.6 seconds separates Skeeven and the Red Bull of James Slater.
Yeah, as SJ moves up to 8th place down to 1 unknown, and Clone's pitted, so he's committed to 2-stop strategy on the medium tyres. That's interesting. See how that works out for him.
Great camera angles. We're looking at Foxy Dude chasing down the Mercedes of Z3 there as we make our way through turn 11 onwards towards turn 12, and it looks like a little bit too far-fetched for the Ferrari there as Legend picks up a 3-second time penalty. We saw him there run wide on the exit of turn 11. The stewards are very strict at that corner. 4 wheels off the curb, or at least one of them off the curb. That is a warning and then leads to a penalty. But you see there Foxy Dude trying to take a tighter line on the exit of the corner. Back end lurches a little bit there. Didn't actually lose him too much time. Lavelle is in trouble at the back there. I want to see if you can see what's happened there as Foxy Dude looks for a move down the inside to try and take the lead of this race. Can't quite do it. Z3 holds on around the outside. Meanwhile, the Red Bulls have swapped positions then, as well as that Unknown has made a move down the inside of SJ. Where is Flavel? Well, he's down now into 12th place. Can't see any damage on that McLaren there.
3 wide here.
3 wide. Oh, it's contact. It's all gone wrong. It has all gone wrong for Ron Line. He's into the wall, as is PB. As we see now, I believe that's Ron Line retired. Yes, he has from the race. And that is unfortunate to see. Ron Line out of the race then becomes the second retirement of this race. 3 wide in towards, or on the exit of turn 1. I've been in a 3 wide situation like that. It never normally ends well.
Before getting into tears, that corner just tightens, pinches up on the curb, and I didn't really see that. I was on the wrong way of that, so I didn't really see what happened. But I'm sure he'll bring the shields off us. I'm sure of that. If anybody feels like they're being aggrieved, there's Rob Forbes. He's trying to recover after that little incident with which I think was his fault, but he's on the back of the Red Bulls now. He need to clear these guys to get back on these sub 4, which are closing up now. It's Steve and he's starting to close up on the Ferraris.
Go then in towards turn 14, right on the back of Slater here. Forbes looking to try and get away past this first Red Bull. He's got the other Red Bull ahead of him, but remember, Legend here is trying to battle for the championship then. Forbes still having to stay behind then as we head in towards turn 1 for the 8th time of this race. Meanwhile then SJ and Unknown still battling away there in towards turn 1. Unknown once again gets past SJ, so SJ on the previous lap must have found a way back past the Renault, and there you can see in towards turn 2 SJ tries a little bit of a cut back there, but Unknown just made the widest Renault possible as we headed through turn 2 then. Nowhere that the Racing Point could actually put that car to try and gain an advantage.
I know he's clocked these guys now, and you want to clear these guys as soon as possible. He's much quicker than these guys, and he's unlucky in that instant with Rob, and you want to recover ground. You can see that Mercedes just ahead, and you want to get revenge later on, but it's got to clear these 2 guys first. This Foxy Dude is within a 10th, but seeing that past few laps, he just doesn't seem to get the perch shot down the corner he needs.
Let's have a look and see if we can try it once again as we head down towards turn 13. Z3 is withstanding this pressure really well at the moment as we make our way in towards the final corner. As there you can see the 2 different lines there. Z3 opting to run a little bit wider to try and find the apex and the overall speed down the straight. And look at that, it seems to work because Foxy obviously will have the DRS and the straight line speed at the end of the straight, but at the beginning of that straight, it looks like Z3's got that line down to a T, and Foxy can't really do a lot down towards turn 1. Rob Forbes goes up the inside and takes that position away. Slater will try a little bit of a cutback. No use though, because Forbes has the DRS run down towards turn 2 and will take that position away. So Forbes then up to 6th place. Meanwhile, Nebster then is into the pits for what looks like a scheduled stop. On-go a set of the medium tyres, and away he goes. In fact, correct me, that's a set of the hard tyres then that go on there, as PB is also in. They've tried a double stack then, and it's not going to work.
No.
Well, yeah, it was all right. Nothing amazing. as he now gets away. Meanwhile, look at this, look at the train going on here as Z3 is trying to hold on to the lead of the race. A 4-car battle for the lead then, and of course in these trains it is all about picking your moment here. You've just got to see if the driver in front makes a mistake. This is the chance here where Foxy will be assessing C3's lines. Where is he not so strong? Where am I quicker? Oh, he's running a bit deep into 13 there. But yeah, he'll get a better exit. You're absolutely right as we head in towards turn 14. This is the Z3 line that he wants to take. You can see there trying to get as close to the exit of the corner as possible to try and maximise the straight line speed down towards turn 1. You can see there Foxy gaining and gaining with the DRS, but nothing doing then as we head in towards turn 1. And still right on the back of that Mercedes. Lap 10 of the Hungarian Grand Prix. It is Z3 who leads. Fox Dude is in second. Wesley third. Skeeter in fourth with Legend in fifth. Rob Forbes there in sixth with Slater seventh. Unknown is in eighth with SJ in ninth. And Foxy Dude has always run wide. Has to rejoin the track then, so Wesley now inherits second place from his teammate, and Schema will have seen that mistake and is looking to try and pressurise. Oh, but he runs a little bit deep into turn 5, and that's really taking that pressure away from the Ferrari then. I wonder now if the two Ferraris are going to start battling. This could cost them time. What are they thinking on that Ferrari pit wall then, Jamie?
Well, I've got Ferrari. I'd let Wesley attack Z3 because Wesley is the championship contender. And he can really cook on Leon here, so I'll let Wesley have a go next couple of laps. So the pit stops will be happening shortly anyway, so have Wesley and will Wesley be a bit more assertive than Foxley was with the Mercedes rather. But yeah, Foxley he just lit it up coming out turn 4 there. He did want to hold it actually, only needs one position because Stephen was there to pounce. So they said there'd be no trains tonight. Well, this is a train, so I was wrong there.
Well, as we head now down towards turn 1, as you say, it's Westy's turn here, heading into the braking zone of turn 1 as we start the 11th lap of this race, and then onwards towards turn 2. That camera angle is always a bit awkward because it's always about 5 seconds before you see a Formula 1 car again, but withdrawal symptoms are done. We're back and we're seeing those lovely cars again as we head in towards turn 3 and upwards towards turn 4. Another battle to take note of is the battle for 8th place. Unknown, SJ and Janel, who are battling away here. Janel, I think, made a mistake last lap just before, or just after the chicane, I should say. So he's down to 10th place at the moment. With our Foxy, he's really on the back of Westy here as we make our way in towards turns 8, 9, then through turn 10. It's a long, twisty section. No real overtaking opportunities. It's all about following the car in front and trying to maximise whatever performance you have in the car, maximise whatever grip you have. Down towards turn 12 we go, and still Foxy not willing to give up on this battle just yet. No,
they've sort of dropped Ski out a little bit this lap. Ski's still not DRS race. She's going to get on these guys, but Westy, he's talking tighter line, not giving a bit of a poor exit, but he might. No, I think C3.
I think this could be a chance. This could definitely be a chance. I think actually on the external cameras that looked a lot closer. Then I looked on board and saw the distance and thought, actually, no, I've got that wrong. So Wesley there, not quite close enough. You were absolutely right, Jamie. No chance for a move just yet. This is just showing Z3 here how he's getting that final corner just so sweetly. He's hitting that sweet spot every single time, and that's going to frustrate the drivers behind him.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of races this season where DRS has been really powerful, but here it's not really that powerful. If you nail the final exit, you can gain 2-3 tenths, and it's such a short straight as your nose will go into turn 4. Oh, that was we ghosted luckily. I think your nose getting a bit frustrated, but yeah, as you see, if you get a good exit out of that final corner, turn 14, then you run out of straight for the turn, and then you've got to brake again. You've got to get another exit. I think them 2 corners you can definitely overtake, but you've got to be quite assertive. You need to find out if I'm being assertive enough coming up the final corner.
Once again, here we go again. How many times are we going to see this here? I guess the first pit stop window. As you can see there, Z3, I think he's slowing down at turn 30. He may not necessarily have the grip. He's just trying to find the apex now. And you can see there, Westy looks like he tried to mirror that line as best as he possibly could. He looks a bit closer. Yeah, you're right. He does look a bit closer this time around. He's closing in on Z3, but we've seen already defensively, Z3 is putting in a sound performance right now. Westy, it really isn't a chance for him to try and get a cutback. And once again, Z3 is going to hold on down towards turn 2. He's just putting in the drive he needs to at the moment, Z3.
Well, you know, he barged his way past the racing point drive there. I think there's a bit of frustration in there. So, oh no, that was.
Well, that's him out of the race, that's for sure. So Janul then, I mean, you had a better view of that than I did, Jamie. All I saw there was he just looked like he lost. Well, it snapped on him, did it?
Yeah, I think that bit of contact maybe. You know, did go down the inside and turn on quite aggressively, and they did make contact. So I don't know what happened later on there. I don't know if they touched wheels, but yeah, that was quite a violent crash, and he's out of the race. That's our third retirement out of 18. These Ferrari drivers are starting to close upon them.
Safety car's been deployed then here in the Hungarian Grand Prix. So with Janul's car out of the race, well, I wasn't expecting this. And the drivers will now peel into the pit lane. Ferrari are going to have a little bit of a headache there because Skeevan's racing Foxy into the pit lane.
You don't need to race him, Skeevan. You're going to jump the Foxy anyway.
Well, remember, Jamie, that in real Formula 1, in real racing, the pit lane's not part of the racetrack. Skeevan was really trying to make the move stick, but the Ferrari's going to have to double stack here. Maybe in the long run, that's not going to be so bad, but it is a very, very busy pit lane. We've got Legend into the pits then. Finally, Foxy Dude will get serviced here. Slater into the pit lane. He has to double stack as well as Z3 will come down the order. Actually, he's lost so much time there, has Z3, and Westy will emerge from the pit lane in the lead of the race. What happened at that Mercedes pit garage? Did he just get held up?
Yeah, I don't think it held up, or maybe had a bit of wind damage, I don't know. I don't know how he got wind damage, he won the whole race. And if he had wind damage, he'd have dropped off what pace. And I don't know what happened there, he's got held up, Mercedes pit's up helping out there, and Legend from nowhere is up to third place.
Yeah, this is, I reckon the Ferrari double stack had some parts playing it as well. Foxy has rejoined in 6th place. Now, everybody is on the hard tyre, apart from PB Racing, who I don't think is coming to the pits yet. Speaking of the devil, he's just coming in now, so he'll be coming in.
He's already ran the hard, so I don't know what to go on now. He might try and get the step means to the end.
Well, he might try to, but this is it now. This will be a race to the end, and where we said the pit window will be open soon and we'll see some pit stops and some undercuts. No, none of that now. All of these drivers will now be aiming to go to the end of the race, and I don't know, Gavin for me has ghosted at the moment. Has he?
Oh, he's disconnected. He disconnected, so he's an AI. He disconnected from the lobby, so he's an AI.
So he should be able to rejoin, and under the safety car, I think he can count his lucky stars there. The only problem is that his car hasn't pitted. So he's on 13-lap old hard tyres.
He joins now, dives in the pits. He should be able to catch up again before the safety car comes out. So, but the problem is you have to go on the medium tyres, and can you get medium tyres 21 laps? It's going to be difficult, but he's going to have to do it, I think.
And let's see what his AR car does. I assume it's going to stay out, and it is going to stay out. So, well, if Gavin does rejoin, he'll find himself in a little bit of a pickle here. As we see, I believe that's Flavel coming into the pit lane, and he is. I think he's got front wing damage on that safety car lap. He comes into the pit lane. Let's see what happens here.
Tyres as well, isn't he? He's going to have to
he will. He'll have to go into the mediums, which are ready for him. And is it? No, it's not. No, it's straight onto the medium tyres.
Yeah, he's going to have to do that, yeah, because he's got wind damage. I wonder if this safety car says that again, he'll dive in the pits again and put them hards back on. But it depends if the safety car I think the safety car come in at the end of this lap. Look at this, how close the field is put together. So he's going to have to stick in the mediums. I've not got the safety car graphic on my screen, so you have to tell me when it comes in.
Well, remember, with the safety car, the lights switch off in the third sector. That's the surefire signal that the safety car will come in. And of course, remember the updated rules about the safety car. The safety car line is the start-finish line. There's no safety car line before the start-finish line anymore. It is at the start-finish line, so no one can overtake until that point. So Westy will be able to control the pace, and what I would think is he'll try and run wide at turn 14 to give himself the best opportunity for a good run down towards turn 1. Of course, DRS won't be enabled until the third lap of green flag racing. So let's see what the strategies will be here. Everyone will be saving fuel, everyone will be saving ERS, and there we go, safety car will be in this lap. Jamie, you should start up a Mystic business because you'd be really good at it. Westy then will be able to control the pace now. He is the safety car now, if you like. And all the cars are bunched up, all 15 of them. All 15 of them are on the lead lap, and we will have 20 laps as the Ferrari will cross the line then through turn 13. The safety car comes into the pit lane, and Westy has gone for it then through turn 14, and towards the start finish line we go. And Foxy's going to be in a lot of trouble here because Gavin obviously going down the order, but you can't overtake until that start finish line as Westy then heads down towards turn 1, pretty much single file there. But look behind them, this is going to be a little bit of a Constantina. Forbes then looking to try and make a move stick as they all had to give back positions to Gavin. Of course they can't overtake cars until they're past the start finish line, and whilst Gavin is a ghost car, that couldn't happen, so they had to stay behind him, so that's cost them time.
And obviously, I think Gavin actually lost the place there as well, because Bob Paul Van just snooped by, so it's looking good for Foxy early on, but not at the moment as that ghost car drops on the field, doesn't surprise me. But yeah, Westy, he's desperate for a race win. I was talking to him earlier, he's desperate for a race win. This is a huge opportunity for him. He got a bit of luck with that safety car, and now he's got 21 laps to defend, but there's a lot of quick drivers behind him, so it's not over yet.
It is not over yet, not by a long shot. Lap 16 of the Hungarian Grand Prix, and Westy leads from Skeven and Legend here. Legend, who has kept his nose in it, kept his game afoot as well as he rounds the penultimate corner, and this is a really good chance for him to grab as many points on Leon as he possibly can, with Leon's absence tonight. Riding on board now over the shoulder shot. I love this shot then as we ride on board with Legend. Then of course no DRS for another 2 laps here as we head now down the start finish straight down towards turn 1. You can see there all the cars, most of the cars in single line formation for now. They're just all waiting for that perfect opportunity, and I'm sort of glad of that. Meanwhile Flavel, as I say that, has made a move on Clone. Then he's moved up a position. Now Albrecht will be the next person in his sights. He'll look for a lunge down towards turn 2. The Alfa Romeo gives him space. Fair play to him, he didn't have to there, but now going through turn 3, Flavel sticks it around the outside, and that was a brave, gutsy move from the McLaren. Meanwhile, that's Clone who sneaks his way up the inside at turn 4. Lots of gutsy moves. I was just about to say, normally after a safety car restart you see drivers try and go for the race of their lives. Here comes Nevstar. That was a move too far then from the Haas. He makes contact and spins himself around at the chicane, and that was just a move too far from Nevstar, and he drops down the order.
Well, Flavel's on a mean tyres, so he has to make these moves now, because them tyres will wear out at the end of the race. He has to make his progress now, and he's got a second gap to SJ, but the problem with him now is he's going to catch up a lot of guys that are within the second feature of this, so make progress at the moment. West has a really good lap there. He pulled in that 7% gap and Legend over the back of Ski Van, so this might be a second place position for their full driver.
DRS enabled, but it won't really be used until the next lap because of where the detection point and activation point is. Flavel then goes fastest, a 1:19.6 from the man from Jersey on those medium tyres, but he's got to get those tyres to the end of this race. It'll be a big ask for him, but for one of the championship contenders, it has to be done. Well, either that or another safety car to help him on his way, but what are the chances of that? I mean, I was so surprised to see the first safety car.
No, that car's long way off far right now, so I could take him up. So that's Nebster has retired from the race, so that's our 4th DNF out of 18.
Yeah, 14 runners now left in this race. Of course, in One Hub Racing, as we head towards the end of this race, of course, we get the fastest lap of the race bonus point for someone inside of the top 10. But here in One Hub, we award that point as well for someone outside of the top 10. So at the moment, that battle would be between Clone, Albrecht, PB and Gavin, although Gavin has disconnected, and I don't think we'll be seeing him back. Apparently his Wi-Fi is packed up altogether, so that's really unfortunate for him. Of course, he is still a ghost car out there, so it's entirely possible that he can rejoin this race a la Asahina. I remember he disconnected from the race, left his ghost car running around, saw a safety car late on into the race and decided to rejoin. So why not? Why not? I mean, the car's still there.
Yeah, there's Foxy dude, he's going to close the back of Rob Ford to get his position back. He's getting very close to the end of the Mercedes, but can't get his something to him. And now, we still have the DRS train now, so overtakes are going to be very difficult for the guys behind. They're going to have to maybe...
Meanwhile, Flavel looked for a move down the inside of the racing point, and the racing point quickly covered it off. Flavel trying to go up the inside at turn 3. No way through for him. SJ holds his ground. Meanwhile, I think there was a little bit of an incident between Albrecht and PB, because PB's let the Alfa Romeo back through.
What we like to see is a bit of an incident if you feel like you're to blame to let the guy past, and then that probably won't happen again penalties. So that's good to see from our new driver. And
what I will say as well is that
Flavel's gone deep. Yeah, Flavel's gone wide, and that's going to ruin his chances of getting past SJ next lap.
I mean, he's on the medium tyres though. He has shown he's capable of pumping in those purple lap times, as we see there. 6 cars battling away for the lead of the race. Slayton 1.4 seconds behind this driver here, Foxy, as we make our way around the final corner and on towards the start finish straight. A little bit wayward from Foxy, but you can see there Skeeven's trying to take advantage of the first part of being in second place of this DRS down towards turn 1. Westy holds on for now, but you can see there drivers will be prioritising the exit. Oh, C3 loses the back end, and there goes Forbes through. So C3 now down to 6th place, and well, leading the race at one point, and looked really comfortable as well. That safety car has really thrown a spanner into the works of his race. He'll just be cursing his luck at the timing of that safety car and how everything unravelled in the pit. Oh, Skeeven's gone around. Skeeven around at turn 4, got onto the curb, and that is very, very close there. He's lost a huge chunk of that front wing, and he'll have to come back to the pits and get that nose changed, and onto a new front wing he'll have to go. But yeah, got onto the curb at turn 4. The car said, "You're having a laugh," and absolutely no way the car was staying put.
Obviously, he's desperate to go for the lead, and he's trying to maybe get a good middle sector, and it's hasn't worked out for him. He'll go pit the medium tyres. He should get them into the end, but it's going to be a long way back, and any chance of points are realistically over unless there's another safety car.
Yeah, unless he's outside of the top 10 and he can get himself their fastest lap of the race. Of course, it's in a sort of different class, but I believe the fastest lap only counts if you reach the checkered flag.
Rob Fobbs out of DRS, and Foxy's may fancy, but he's too far back. I think he's too far back, so he won't get by here unless Fobbs makes a huge mistake.
We're heading into turn 1 then. Foxy looking to put the Mercedes of Forbes under pressure. Skeeven into the pit lane then to change that front wing. Meanwhile then, Legend only half a second back from Westy as the sun tries to poke through the clouds a little bit more. Actually, it's nice and sunny here in Budapest until we reach that overcast bit. Ignore that bit.
Yeah.
Ignore that bit. It's nice and sunny at Budapest. That's all you have to know.
Yeah, we've got a good chance of a new winner tonight. I believe one of the top 7 of the top 8 get to win a race, so we may get a new winner tonight, which should be good to see.
Well, we'll have to wait and see who it will be. Let's see your support for your drivers out there in the chat. I've already seen some support from Ollie. Well, he is on the medium tyres. He is one of the quickest drivers out there, but of course he has to get these tyres to the end of the race, so he can't burn them out too quickly, no matter how much pace he's actually got on those tyres, as we head our way down towards turn 12.
So he's done 6 laps, but you maybe discount a lap or 2 behind the safety car, so yeah, I think if he feels the tyre's going off 5 laps ago, I think he might dive in the pits, put some softs on and really go for a sprint at the end. It feels like he can't make him. He's got to make that decision though with plenty of time. He can't be in 2 halves. He's got to really commit.
It's one or the other, it has to be, so they'll have to make that decision quickly. They'll have to make it sooner rather than later as well. And you can see those better tyres have got better traction out of turn 1 as we head our way down towards turn 2. You can see there lots of cars involved in this battle. It's actually C3 in 5th place right now with Slater behind and Unknown. We've also got SJ, Flavel in that battle as well as they all go through turn 4. You can see how much more grip just from the camera angle alone that Flavel had on those medium tyres. Lap 22 of this Grand Prix. It is Westy who's leading ahead of Legend. It's Forbes in 3rd, Foxy in 4th, the Z3 5th, Slater in 6th, Unknown 7th, SJ in 8th, Flavel in 9th, with Clone rounding out the top 10. Gavin, who's currently disconnected, is in 11th place, PB in 12th, Skeeven in 13th, and Albrecht is in 14th. SJ runs wide at turn 11. This is a chance for Flavel to try and have a move down towards turn 12, but you can see SJ felt vulnerable there and felt the need to defend down towards turn 12, and I think he's very glad he did, because Flavel definitely saw the door open there.
Yeah, I think he feels like this DRS will work for him, so he moves back to moves elsewhere, and he had a good opportunity there. The SJ did cover it well, but Flavel should get the brakes out of here of the traction, but SJ's got DRS, so this move is going to be very difficult. And SJ's pulled away.
We thought about that move up the inside, that's for sure. Not quite done there. He's got a car off. That's C3 off on the right hand side. Yeah. He's lost the back end and into the wall he goes. Not so lucky this time.
Got severe wing damage as well, so he's going to have to pit and he'll be outside the top 10 as well.
He had a flawless drive leading this race, and it's all gone wrong since the safety car was deployed, and it's just not gone right ever since then.
Similar to Fox did last week, he had a good first stint and after safety car all level for him, so yeah, that's not just disappointing. As Westy still leading, but these three behind him, they're closing up on him, so there's going to be a bit of pressure now, but Westy's holding strong at the moment, and you have to say, Legend, if he's going to get his move done, you have to be really brave, because DRS doesn't seem to be that effective tonight.
Lap 23 of this race, then Westy running a little bit deep into 13, but that would give him the run he needs towards turn 14, and again looking to try and find the grip, looking to try and find the apex and give yourself that best opportunity you can down the main straight. Legend will have the DRS then, as Westy already going defensive to try and break the slipstream heading down towards turn 1. It's worked this time around, and Legend will have to stay in second place for now. Forbes then running a little bit wide on the exit of turn 1, might still leave himself a little bit vulnerable down towards turn 2. Meanwhile, Unknown here is right on the back of Slater, who's also got SJ and Flavel behind him as well, heading in towards turn 2. We've got Z3 into the pits to replace that front wing, and he will now drop outside of the top 10. What a shame for Z3, he was having such a great race, but as I said, ever since that safety car, it's all gone wrong.
Yeah, sure has. As Unknown, yeah. James Slater, I think he's the cork in the bottle at the moment. I think he's holding his guy pinned up, but say just the overtaking, it's going to be difficult for these guys to get past. And Ollie, he's on the softer tyres, but all this stuck in traffic, he's going to overheat his tyres a lot more. That's going to make getting to the race a lot more difficult for him, but he's sticking really quick into the sector still.
See Foxy riding a move with him. Different lines through turn 11. Forbes was running a little bit wide, I believe, on entry, and then Foxy was running a little bit wide on exit as he loses that back end. Yeah, a little bit of opposite lock, just a tad out of turn 13. Meanwhile, now onto turn 14. And meanwhile, with Flavel, who's trying to look up the inside, and they're going to go side by side down the main straight. I really wish we had split screen here, just like we saw on F1 TV in Abu Dhabi, but look at this, look how close Flavel is, down towards turn 1, up the inside of SJ. SJ does not want to let that position go. Flavel loses the back end and goes into the wall. All that hard work, all that hard effort on those new medium tyres have all gone to waste as he's lost the back end out of turn 1, and you can already see, if pictures could tell you 1,000 words, that would be one of them. He stayed stationary there for a long time. That's head in hands moment there.
In frustration, he got the move done. All he had to do was just get the better. He had the better line. If he just, but yeah, I think maybe just have a little moment there. That's PB closing up on him, yeah, and I believe he'd be into retirement now. That's a shame though, because that was a good move. He choreographed that move well, but it's no good getting the move done if you can't make it stick, as Ollie Flavel is going crawling pace at the moment, so I think he's retired from the race. He'll come and retire.
I think he was just letting cars through behind because he's got no front wing whatsoever. So he's just letting his teammates through there, so his Skeeter goes up to 11th place. But what a shame for Flavel as he looked to try and make that recovery drive. Meanwhile then, 10 laps to go here in Hungary. Westy leads the way. It is Legend in second, Forbes in third, and that is Foxy who's in fourth place. Slater is in fifth with Unknown 6th. SJ is in 7th with Clone 8th. PB in 9th. Gavin, who's disconnected, in 10th place. I hear that he's trying to patch up his Wi-Fi and trying to get back into this race, because as it stands right now, his Ghost Car's done pretty well.
Yeah, he's in the points at the moment. He can get back in. He's on very old hard tyres, and the guy's grinding on softer tyres. But he maybe going back in and maybe go for the fastest lap. But that's a possibility.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, hopefully he does get his internet fixed, and we'll see him at least for the last couple of laps of this race. But look at that between the top four. It's all about picking your moment, picking the right time to try and make a move. And this is all about pressuring that car in front to make a mistake, and hope that that mistake doesn't come from you as Flavel comes back to the pit lane to retire the car.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think he should have gone for the fast lap outside of the top 10. 1 point closing up on Leon is better than no points at all.
Yeah, I think he's just frustrated. I think he's just the race had gone off, and I presume he picked up damage van in the safety car that forced him to go on hard the medium tyres. And yeah, and I think he's trying hard to get back, but yeah, it's not being his day today, and he's going to lose ground. So I mean, Leon's not going to lose ground on Ollie. Is Foxy dug inside here? It's a bold move, but no, doesn't quite get it stiff.
Yeah, he tried to put the Mercedes under pressure then to try and make him decide what he's got to do, but Forbes held his ground there and held on to third place. It's very close between this top four, and it's at least there with Foxy. That was a move full of heart. He meant that move, he wanted to make that move stick, and when it didn't work, he just sort of let it go. But there's moves like that you can make where it's half-hearted, where you want to go for the move and then realise halfway through, actually, I really didn't want to make this move. Those are the ones that can really cost you everything. And Z3's binned it at turn 14, and Z3's race, from leading this race just 20 laps ago, has now found himself out of the race entirely. Well, I don't know, a change of fortune there. The safety car maybe disrupted that form, real swagger that Z3 had got himself into, and it's all gone wrong for the Mercedes driver. He's now out of the Hungarian Grand Prix. This is a chance then for his teammate to leapfrog him in the driver's standings. 9 points between the two of them right now, with Forbes on the back foot right now. But here is Foxy, who's got a really good run on Forbes. They've both got DRS, and then down towards turn one. Here goes the Ferrari up the inside into turn one. You see Forbes there looking for a cutback as we head down the hill towards turn two. Then they're still side by side. Then Forbes will be on the outside for turn two. And look at that, the Ferrari has the inside line and will park it on the apex there as we head through turn three. Forbes will have a good run up towards turn four, but he's got nowhere to put the car. Foxy has done a really good move there, and he moves now up to third place. Really good patient driving there, and when he saw his opportunity, Foxy struck, and up to third place he goes.
Yeah, that was sort of done last lap, and he did that lunge. He was like thinking, where's Rob braking, where can he get him done? And he was that little bit closer next lap, he could have got stuck. And look, he's back on Legend already, so he's looking really quick on these hard tyres. It could be a Ferrari one too if he gets this move done, but he's a bit squirrely out of here though, and Legend's pulled away a little bit, so yeah, that move really was done the previous lap effectively.
Yeah, Z3 just in the chat there saying that the safety car just let him get out of his rhythm, and it ruined him. That's his own quote in there, and well, you could tell there that it just disrupted that flow he was in. He was really had his head down and pumping in those lap times. Meanwhile there, Victor Hugo in the chat saying Ferrari could make a 1-2. That's entirely possible, but Legend here has been trying to chase down Westy for the best part of the last, what's that now, 9 laps, and it's just felt like for him there's no progress. There's going to be an element for frustration for the Red Bull driver.
No, yeah, Westy, just like you say, like we saw before with C3, if you nail the exits, that were 2 DRS zones, it's sort of impossible to get by. As so Westy keeps doing that. He's got a good chance of winning, but he's got to be careful though. One mistake and he could drop that 4th place.
Absolutely, as Foxy has got to keep his composure about him as well, with 6.5 laps to go. Oh, a little bit of
he tapped the rear of the Red Bull there. He tapped the rear of the Red Bull there to take avoiding action. Yeah,
so that's a little bit of contact between them now. I wonder if there's any damage to the front wing of Foxy. Doesn't look like it, especially through this high aero section. No, definitely doesn't look like it.
He lost a lot of time there if there was, and top Forbes. He avoided that as well, so yeah, Legend's a bit further back from West now, so Foxy may fancy an opportunity here if he gets a good exit.
Out of turn 13 we go, and onwards towards turn 14. Well, of course, the next beneficiary of Leon's absence will be Westy, who will be able to get 25 points on him and try and get that gap down to 45 points at the very least, or sorry, 55 points at the very least here. The next one who could try and take advantage is Nexus Legend, who can get that points gap down to 31 points. He could actually take 2nd place in the championship right now, heading towards round 13 next week. So pressure's on then for the Red Bull driver. He'll want all 25 points. He won't want Westy to gain any points on him at the moment, because Westy right now 23 points behind Legend. the last thing Legend wants is for Westy to gain 8 points on him, especially in a championship where these good results have to come by in Leon's absence.
Yeah, and I'll say take advantage of a good fortune on free. Ferrari, they'll close the gap significantly on Williams' constructors as well. They'll be on 40 points at the moment, so that gap will come down a lot, and that will. And Ferrari may fancy a constructors championship now, as Fox goes really wide there. He's got
he's gone. He's gone. He's lost it. Pushed too hard at turn 11 and has lost the back end. Tried to keep that all together, but nothing doing for him. He'll have to spin that car around and limp it back towards the pit lane. He waits then and gets out of the way of the Toro Rosso, but that is a chance for Ferrari. 1-2 completely gone and out of the window. And yeah, as I said, just pushed it too hard into turn 11 and paid the price. Lost a huge amount of front wing.
Well, for soft tyres, just go for a fast lap now. That's what you want to do now.
So we have 5 laps to go here in Hungary, and it's Westy leading from Legend and Rob Forbes. Slater then will move up to 4th place with Unknown in 5th, as SJ is in 6th, as Foxy Dude actually retires from the race in the pit lane. And that is the end of his day. So from a chance of getting a podium to nothing at all, he becomes another retirement in this race. So we now have 11 runners if you include Gavin, who I wouldn't count him as a runner at the moment, but Ulbricht might get a chance to get past him once again. But the clouds seem to be gathering over the what's it now? I don't know which direction this is, but it's definitely towards sector 2. It's a lot heavier cloud right now.
I think we should be okay. We've got 4 laps to go. I think we should be okay, but you never know, as Westy's pulled a second gap on Legend now. Missed that, so Westy got a bit of breathing ground now, as Rob Forbes is looking to get that podium. He's yet to have a podium this season. Neither is James Slater, so these two guys, they're looking to get a podium, but James Slater needs to catch up to these guys if he wants to get that podium.
Well,
There's a lot of top 5s, but no podium, sorry.
It's alright, it's Westy on towards lap 32. We have 4 laps to go as Ulbricht now moves up to 10th place. There is SJ, who comes into the pits then. Now, has he had a moment out there, or is he thinking about fastest lap? I'm thinking the latter. Let's see what happens when he comes into the pit lane. Meanwhile, Forbes then trying to put pressure on the Red Bull ahead of him. On go a set of soft tyres. Yep, it is entirely going for the fastest lap of the race. Bonus point there. So he will now come down the pit lane. He should rejoin in front of Skeven there. Actually, I don't think he will. Having looked at it. Down the pit lane.
He will. Yeah, he will. It's going to be tight, but yeah, he's got it there. He's got a couple of seconds gap. Yeah.
So then SJ will rejoin in clear air. So he's only lost a position to Clone there, but 12 seconds with 4 laps to go. It's a big ask, but I think he's looking at that.
It's all hard. It is doable, but it is doable. But I'm quite surprised he pitted, because he lost the position there. Unless he's got more penalties, and he would have lost the position anyway. But yeah, as Legend gets a penalty, that might cost him. That might cost him second place.
It might do indeed, but we're making our way now towards the latter part of this race as PB Racing picks up a 3-second time penalty, heading our way around the final corner, and it is Westy going through your picture there in the lead of the race. Legend has got himself, well, not quite back into DRS range. He was in DRS range through the final corner, but of course detection point is before then. Here's Forbes then. Look at the speed he's got then down towards turn 1, throws it up the inside, but Legend tries to get that cut back on him. It's a long time before we see those cars again. Now they head down towards turn 2. Forbes then on the inside trying to hold his ground. His Legend around the outside, can't quite do it, and Forbes then gets second place. He executed that move with precision, and he knew he wanted to get that move done. Full-hearted there, send it. And he sent it all right. Forbes then up to second place.
Nice doing that fair fight. It's like he broke himself coming to turn 1, but he managed to get the inside of turn 2 and just squeeze the Red Bull out of the road there. And I don't think he'll be able to catch Westy, but he should be securing second place now, unless Legend may fancy a move back here. But he's still sitting close to him. These guys, they need much for pace, and Legend may fancy a payback. He's closed a lot in this middle sector.
You see Z3 there, his teammate of Rob Forbes, absolutely ecstatic with that move. That's got him up to second place as we head through the final corner. Westy will start the penultimate lap of this race, and Westy, a few laps ago, was obviously in that train, involved in the battle for the lead of the race. Now, after the safety car, found himself leading it and has led ever since that safety car period. So he's just kept his head down and kept focus. And with the two cars now that possibly battling behind him, he could extend this gap now.
Yeah, yeah, you have to say he's doing quite. Yeah, Resty should be secure now. He's got to avoid making any stupid mistakes. You know, these guys are battling, but Rob Forbes is starting to put the lane a little bit. So this top three, I think it's pretty much locked down now. We've got a battle for fourth between Slater and Unknown African, two guys who tend to go under the radar in races, but tend to do well in the race. Jonas is easy to show that we've got a fast lap attempts.
Yeah, I think it'll be. I'm not sure the situation with ghost cars, whether they count as finished cars or not. But in any case, Albrecht is coming in to basically put on a set of soft tyres and see what happens as we make our way on towards the final sector of the race.
Oh, Steve has spun it into turn 4, but he should be safe in 8th place as Westy is about to begin the final lap with Nexus Legend and Rob Forbes still battling for 2nd place.
Well, here comes Westy then towards the start-finish line to start the final lap of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Westy this season has had 5 podiums, but that race win has eluded him so far this season. This could be his chance. He's been in full control since the safety car had been deployed, and he now heads down towards turn 2 for the final time. Can he keep it all together? Forbes then in 2nd place. I think he will be under investigation after the race, but on track currently in 2nd place. Legend has time penalties awarded by the in-game stewards anyway. Let's see if it's enough to keep himself ahead of his teammate. I think it will.
Nice fancy podium here. If he keeps in the gap, he might get a podium. I haven't seen his name pop up yet, so keep an eye on that for you.
We will do indeed. Westy now making his way through the 2nd sector. You can see there Forbes is trying to hold on to 2nd place again for Forbes. He came into this race, he wasn't confident at all. He said he didn't like this track. He said he wasn't going to be liking this track at all. Gavin, by the way, has been disqualified for failing to use the required compounds. That's because of his ghost car, so that would have been a huge mistake. But here comes Westy then towards the final corner. This could be his first race win of the season. The first race win of the season will go to Westy. Westy wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. Rob Forbes in 2nd place. Nexus Legend across the line in 3rd. And Slater jumps him. Slater gets a podium in One Hub Pinnacle Tier. That is his first podium of the season for James Slater. What a moment for him. Unknown there in 5th place. A great drive from the Renault driver. Climbing there, finishing in 6th place. SJ Racing coming across the line in 7th place. And PB and Skeven have come together at turn 12. They're both involved.
Don't know what's happened there as Skeven gets his way back through again. I don't know if...
Remember, Skeven already had damage beforehand, so I wonder what's going to happen there. But anyway, they come round the final corner, and Albrecht will be there to take 10th place. He's trying to go for the fastest lap.
Yeah, he's going very wide there, so he's fancied 2 points instead of 1. Let's see if he does it.
Let's see if he does it. Let's see that timing screen light up in purple. Will it happen? He'll head towards that start-finish line any moment now. But what a moment for this man in the Ferrari. It's his first race win of the season, and it comes at round 12 at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Westy wins in Budapest.
Yeah, say he got a little bit lucky with that safety car, but he managed to hold on in the end, and he was quite competitive in the first two. That's some good overtakes, and crucially, he got by his teammate just for that pit stop, which allowed him to have the priority in the pit stops, and that Ferrari pit crew that they're put in the position, but West had to capitalise, and he did. And he didn't pick a penalty either, and the guys behind did, so he kept it clean as well.
Well, a great performance from Westy. He got himself in that great position. A little bit of luck with the safety car, a little bit of luck with what happened in the pit lane, but he won't care because he's got his first race win of the season. And here are your unofficial results here from the 12th round of One Hub Pinnacle Tier. It is Westy who wins his first race of the season. Rob Forbes then in 2nd place, coming from 10th place on the grid. Slater in 3rd with Legend in 4th. Unknown in 5th. Clone coming from 17th place on the grid up to 6th place. A great drive from the Brit there. It's SJ in 7th from 13th place on the grid. Skeven in 8th. With PB Racing in 9th and Albrecht rounding out the top 10. No one finishing outside of the top 10, so only 1 bonus point for fastest lap will be awarded, and it does get awarded to Albrecht, who scores 2 points there, so exactly the same as PB Racing. But non-finishers, Foxy Dude, Z3, Flavel, Nebster, Janor, Ron Lyon, Cohen, and Gavin Racing, who was disqualified at the end of the race there because his AI didn't pit, basically. His AI wanted to try a one-stop on the hard tyres, which you're not allowed to do.
Yeah.
The no-stop, the infamous no-stop. You can only do those in classic cars, Gavin YouTube's AI. Oh well. Anyway, a great first race win of the season for the Ferrari driver of Westy there. But Jamie, it comes down to this: your driver of the day. Who's it going to be?
I'm going Westy just for winning the race. Obviously, he controlled it that final. He was under a lot of pressure, but he kept it cool as he was behind, lost the heads a little bit. So I'm going to go for Westy as that driver of the day nomination.
I think my driver of the day nomination is going to go to Nexus Clone. Of course, he had that DRS problem in qualifying, didn't get a clean lap, had to start P17 and got his way up to 6th place. A really good drive from the British driver, so he gets my vote for driver of the day. And that is your choice between driver of the day when we get to tomorrow. Make sure you're following the league on Twitter at OneHub Racing. You will be able to vote between those two drivers for driver of the day. Make sure you're also following Jamie on Twitter. It's at JamieMet92, and if you really want to, you can follow me on Twitter as well at KSMCGF1. Don't forget, you can follow our sponsors Next Level Racing. They are at NextLVL Racing, so make sure you go check them out for all their lovely gear. Well, Jamie, that was a pretty good Hungarian Grand Prix in my books. How about you?
Yeah, it was that. Yeah, it was. The safety car did liven up a little bit, and there's a few incidents, but some really good drivers, good overtakes, a few controversial moments. That's what I'm going to see in a race. And obviously next week we've got the infamous Spa-Francorchamps, so we'll see you for that next week.
Yeah, one of the pinnacles on the calendar. Everyone wants to win at Spa, and 22 laps will separate us from who wins in Belgium. But until then, make sure you now tune in to the Prestige tier, where I believe they're just part way through the race, because we finished late, of course, with the lobby troubles. But go join Alex now, as he's on his own there, so give him some company to help him cover the Hungarian Grand Prix. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching the Pinnacle tier. I've been Kieran McGinley.
I've been Jamie.
Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.
Good night.